Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I was doing my regular portrait drawing exercise and I was thinking to share you guys a few details on how I draw my gold jewelries in my portraits. This particular sample picture was there on my phone for a very long time and I was planning to do this because the overall lighting of this picture was very beautiful and I wanted to give it a try at least once. The background is completely dark and the foreground, which is exposed to the light, is actually bringing up the jewelries and the gold ornaments in her dresses in a very dazzling way. I'm not going to put a lot of effort to the face here. Rather, I'm just going to make extra effort for the jewelry part to know how it's gonna come out at the end. I'm just going to follow with the same color pattern whatever is shown in the sample picture, and nothing is going to change in that part. It's so nice to draw a portrait in a dark background because it will expose the beauty of the face so much when compared to the light background. Drawing fabric is the hardest part, but we can actually simplify the process. We can add some design strokes using our brushes, and it doesn't have to be entirely the same way like how we see in the reference. If your drawing is very small, you cannot add each and every detail of the fabric to your drawing. Instead, use the same color and add some brush strokes to resemble the designs. Now I'm going to add the golden strokes to the picture, so I'm adding a little bit of yellow to white to bring that golden effect to the zaris and the jewelries. Take maximum amount of paint in your brush and then start adding the strokes. Since this is gouache paint, once the paint is dried out, the intensity will be reduced. I'm adding the paint to the areas where the light is directly hitting the fabric and the gold is exposed and dazzling. I'm adding the color strokes a bit lighter here because the light will not be directly exposed to the area behind her face. So that part is going to be a little bit darker. You can see I'm not doing any designs in particular, they are just brush strokes. Random brush strokes, but still the beauty of the fabric is exposed. And once the yellow shade is done completely, I'm going to go with white at certain areas, not at all the areas, to make it more effective and more glowy. And for the jewelry part, I'm going to start up with the shadow areas. I'm going with the shadow first and then the jewelry, but you can draw the jewelry and then add the shadow later. That is also fine. There's no particular rule for drawing jewelries, so it's up to us to follow any comfortable way. I'm going to add the pearls now, so it's not completely white, it's actually yellow plus white. And then later adding white to the pearls where the light is directly hitting. Painting portraits of this kind is more satisfying because I would be having chances to add more glows to the entire drawing rather than focusing just on eyes or lips or nose. This is just a wholesome process, and if you are a portrait artist, I would ask you people to draw portraits like these at least once in a while because this is so satisfying and makes our mind relaxed and learn a lot about jewelries or lightings or any other color theory. And my most favorite part in this drawing, I would say, is drawing the nose ring, because it has both shadow and light exposed part, and moreover it's very thin, so I have to be very careful in drawing that. So I'm using a very thin brush to make the nose ring. I thought of stopping this video with this one drawing, but it was very satisfying and I wanted to do more, so I started with the second one. There is no reference picture this time. I'm doing it on my own and I wanted to know how much I have improved in drawing jewelries, and I'm going to test it out in this picture. The previous one was in a very dark environment, and I'm going to make this time light background and in a very bright environment. Let's see how this is going to turn out into. All the colors which I am choosing for the portrait is going to be bright and highly contrast, and you cannot see any dull or less saturated color. And I'm going to bring a very lively environment in this portrait. I just loved how the face ended up in this drawing. It was very beautiful. And for the fabric, since I did not have any samples, I just followed the same process which I followed in the previous drawing. For the jewelry, I was having a plan to lay chrome yellow for the initial layer and then adding a light yellow, after that white, and then adding some shadows to bring up the design. I just forgot that it's gouache painting, because while adding a layer over the paint, if it's wetty, then the paint will come out. It will not lay properly. So after it's completely dried, I just tried once again for layering yellow. I'm adding dark shadows as designs in the jewelry, because only if you're adding shadows you can just know that there are some designs in the jewelries. If you're not adding, it will be so plain and blank. I'm adding black plus red plus burnt sienna for this shadow part. I'm adding light yellow plus white for the jewelries to make it glitter after adding the dark shadows. Since this is gouache paint, we have to make sure that the lower layer is completely dry before adding the top layer. I'm doing the jewelries by layering the paints. If the initial layer is not properly dried, the paint which you lay on top of it will be very less saturated, and you will end up in adding more paint over and over to it. Even though you add so much paint on top of it, it will be very light and it will not give you that glowy effect. So make sure that the layers are dried before adding your next layers of paint. I'm going to add white in certain areas after everything is completely dry, because white is going to make the jewelries glow and shine. And finally, the most satisfying part in the portrait, the eye glow. I just loved how these drawings ended up into, especially the second one. This was fun, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I did, and comment down below which picture you loved the most. thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this video was very useful, and I will come up with another interesting video very soon. Until then, take care. Bye bye.